Any computing revolves around these four attributes: compute, memory, network, and storage. Why is compute highlighted slightly differently? If you had asked me 2 years ago, I would have marked it as CPU, which is a very common term used. But what has changed in the last 2 years? We have witnessed very complex tasks getting addressed in an unprecedented manner. So what has enabled it is not just CPU, it is also the era of GPUs. When we spoke about CPUs, we were talking about 16 billion transistors. When we talk about GPUs, this is the range of 75 billion transistors on a certain chip and massive amount of parallelism. Can personally I get hold of a GPU? Of course. But can I run the kind of workloads, use cases, problem solving that I see in the industry at a personal level? Probably not. It needs a lot of upfront setting up of infrastructure to be able to process these these loads. So the basic computing always centers around compute, memory, network, and storage, and across three variables: volume, velocity, and variety. I will request Proma to keep this in mind when you make choices. How do we apply these variables? Right? So you take, let's say, flight booking. The large part of flight booking volume, if you look at it, less than 2-3% of the entire traffic is for actual booking of the tickets. So where do the computing infrastructure spend the rest 97%? Right? There could be people who are doing a check-in, and the large volume of the infrastructure is dedicated for people who do a journey search. They simply search for a journey, look at prices, keep exploring options. That amounts to a large volume of traffic on a service like this. When you choose a product, right? So these three variables, either it will involve bringing in massive amounts of data, which is volume. Then we talk about velocity, the speed at which something gets generated. You take any examples like social media. Then you also look at variety, right? The amount of information we have today. There are textual information. There is voices, natural language information in digital format. Then we are talking about images, videos, and different various other formats generated by systems. There are computer organized data left for processing. So the volume, velocity, variety will vary depending on the size of your organization. You're a small product, you are a medium-sized product, or you are a large enterprise looking to expand your product across multiple geographies. It will all depend on these three variables and how you leverage infrastructure based on the compute, memory, network, and storage. So what does cloud really offer? So this is more like you do not buy a single server and you purpose it, rather you go rent it, right? That's how the cloud is. The cloud is pay as you go model. You have all of this infrastructure in different geographies, network together very well. There are people who are focusing on uptime of it. And for you as a product manager, as a business analyst, what should you focus on? Just focus on your product. Let the cloud take care of all the infra, the uptime, the upgrade, any security patching that comes along with it, right? So any digital component of your product on the cloud, there is your warm-up time, your investments on focusing on the infra is completely offloaded to the cloud provider. It has near zero downtime, which is very, very high availability. So you still continue to focus on the product rather than the baggage that comes along with upkeeping of an infrastructure. The third element is related to budgeting. There is a fundamental difference in buying IT assets upfront and using IT assets as we go forward. So capital expenditure versus operational expenditure. Setting up of any infrastructure incurs a heavy upfront capex cost, whereas when we take up cloud, you can start simple. You can take as much CPU, as much network, as much storage needed to get started. And eventually when the market expands, you can increase your footprint. It is so simple on the cloud to start using services with a larger capacity. It's as simple as You have a 2 CPU machine, power it down, set the configurations to 4, and bring it up. All of your settings, applications can remain the same. It is only built only when you use. It comes with native security controls with a lot of threat detection, DDoS protection. These are the kind of web attacks people try to do on websites. Their firewalls are too good in detecting them. And the most overlooked ability is rapidly recovering from deceptions. Right? So these are some of the areas that cloud shines, and it gives you a beautiful edge over people investing in upfront private infrastructure. Let's go to what AI driven products do in this era. And as you have seen, cloud provides infrastructure at any scale for any amount of workload. When you have started tapping into fantastic innovations on the AI side, there are you can list finite set of activities that happen in AI today. Now, I'm going to take India as an example, India market as an example to say the kind of scale we are operating at. So there are 38.57 wired internet subscribers. The wireless penetration is a lot more, 97.59, primarily due to wireless devices, laptops, and so on. Active internet users are at 50%. Of all the digital payment that's happening, 99% is UPI transactions. UPI is a payment method that predominantly depends on the mobile. Right? It requires a mobile phone and setup based on mobile. There are 253 million BMAP downloads. That's the spread. That's the reach of the UIAD backed app. When it comes to entertainment, we have 38.3 million Hotstar subscribers. Even if you're tapping into 0.5% of Indian population, you're actually touching upon 7.1 million people, which translates into users for your digital product. This is the largest market ever. If you're tapping into something like this, look at the scale of users you are tapping into. Even if you have half a percentage of the population as active users, this is the scale, unprecedented. So this is possible because we are countries with most affordable phones and internet reach. Even if you're trying to look at the scale and derive a target market, even this is enormous, right? If you have to service for this enormous market, you need the cloud and the right technologies. A few years ago, it was enormously difficult to build something at this scale and make sense out of it. Any product you interface. I mean, the Gen AI, a lot of the talks that happened yesterday has already provided a nice glimpse of what Gen AI is doing, what the kind of experience shift it is providing you. And in the product space, these are the kind of places where you can actually use AI to impact your user experience and enhance your product capabilities. I'm going to take one, which is very easily connectable, which is fraud monitoring. You pick up your ATM card at an unusual time, do 3 repeat transactions of the same value at an unusual time. The bank will give you a call. How do you think this is happening? Bank employees are not monitoring every single of the transactions available. It is the monitoring. It is the digital AI investments, which is able to spot these patterns and surface it. So the kind of AI infrastructure and the software that's available today can actually fit in nicely into different life cycle of the products. So be it in market research, segmenting your customers and targeting your customers, predictions, forecasting, and so on. So this talk is aimed at giving you open up avenues on where AI can be used for innovation. And again, when you're talking about the massive amounts of data that goes into this product lifecycle, here are a set of repeat activities you would do while handling data. It's like collection, ingestion. You might have to manage the storage, handle the processing, take care of security and privacy. In heavily compliant and regulated industries, you have to take care of the governance and the data management. And of course, people who are monetizing data, that's an opportunity for you. With this, I will also end this talk with a small, a promo has to remember. FinOps discipline on the cloud. With big power, a bigger bill is possible, right? The price of power could be a hefty check. So there are some genuine cost, and there can also be avoidable cost. The avoidable cost comes from lack of awareness of how to harness cloud technology. So why I want to give us a takeaway here is, while it has the power, it has fantastic innovations. As promas, people who have budgetary controls also have to look into capability gaps, a strong understanding of the cloud, and the right billing controls. This is called as FinOps discipline. Uh, I think with this, I will stop my talk and hand over for any questions.
Any questions from the online folks?
A lot of this technology, is very familiar. A lot of you may be using. So the idea with this talk is to introduce you to the revolution that has happened in the AI use cases, how you can tap, and different things that industry is doing, and where to be careful about uh, the cloud billing.
Certainly. Thank you so much for the insightful session, Ratna Kumar. It was great. And your talk truly showcased how the cloud is transforming innovation, reminding us that the sky's the limit when AI and big data meet the cloud. So thank you so much. We really appreciate your time and your vision.
Thank you.